trans people are made out to be these freaks or people who are just non-conforming, disobedient, not well-spoken, not resourceful, not useful, maybe broken. At 18 years old, I moved out of the house and came to New York with $500 in my name. So poor, studied school, put myself through school. Right after school, graduated, and now I own my own apartment. I am the creative director for a fashion company, and life is good. I had my gender reassignment surgery right before I turned 30, 2004. So I'm 37 now, so 7 years ago. We grow our hair, we start wearing makeup. All of it is like on the surface of what it is to be a woman.
This is my view on the world. I came to New York just to kind of chase my dream about being a designer and things like that. I basically abandoned the fact that I would ever transition. Okay, because I never thought transitioning was a possibility, ever. The quintessential New York apartment, the 10th story walk-up. It's the outside world projecting their fear and ignorance on me that's making me like really focus on passing 100%. And it's like I'm obsessed with it almost. So one day I got spooked, which means basically someone knew I was transgender just by my physical appearance. So it really freaked me out. I didn't know how to deal with it because I was just so scared. I was just like, okay, I am not that passable, apparently. When you're passing, you don't get spooked. So I'm getting like chemical peels for my skin. I'm saving up more money to get more surgeries for my breasts and my jaw and my teeth fixed. Because I feel like men and women have different smiles, So I feel that my smile isn't I just don't like it. My dog's name is George. I've had George for, I think, 3 years. Even before transitioning, I called myself a cross-dresser, So I would put on makeup and these wigs, and I would look at George, and he would just look at me normally. I'm like, you don't think I'm weird? You don't think I'm a freak, George? No, just acted the same. And I'm like, okay, so this is real unconditional love right here. I love George. I mean, I love George. I'm not just trans, I'm more than that, I'm a designer, an entrepreneur, somebody's friend, somebody's girlfriend. Chrysalis is a company that Sai and I have created, specifically designed for transgendered women. We both felt exactly the same way in terms of like starting this company to help women like us. We know that there's a lot of transgendered women out there that feel exactly the same way. We don't want to be looked at as sex object. I'm a woman, and everything that I do, I'm being judged as a woman. I am now going to make less than a man doing exactly the same thing.
Oh my goodness, that's a transsexual on the street right there. It's like, hey everybody, there's a transsexual right there. Like, you learn very quickly not to make yourself so obvious.
I have to say that when I was younger, I felt that there was something different about me. But when you're young, you really don't know what's going on. But I know that being a boy wasn't it.
I got my sexual reassignment surgery in 2004. I've been in a relationship with Robert for approximately 8 years. I love Robert so much. He has been such a positive reinforcement in my life. He's my best friend. He's my lover.
I like to look at myself. You're dealing with a tranny.
Makeup is part of who I am. My most recent work is the makeup I did for the Chris Willis video. I used glitters, feathers, cream paints, rhinestones. Honey, it was over. Of course it was over. I was hanging out one day at home, chilling, doing my thing, sketching, and, doing runway, y todo. So my agent called me and told me that Kenneth Cole had contacted them because they were interested in a transgender for their ad campaign. I'm so used to being on the other side of the camera, being the makeup artist. I was nervous at first, but I think I'm the first transgender in a full-page ad in Vogue. Boom.
My name is Tiffany Matthew. I am a transgendered woman. I started prostituting at the age of 18 years old.
My job is this, throwing on a wig, walking around with my implants and doing promotions. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. Prostitute to the big bosses, the managers. Prostitute myself into getting hired into the job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Got to do what you motherfucking got to do, baby. My stand. Puppy, you got a big dick? You got $20? Come over.
As an escort, I was pretty much, seeking generous gentlemen, which means that they're clientele that I service, in private. Sometimes it entails having sex. Sometimes it's just hanging out. Sometimes it's just, going out to party. Drugs and alcohol trigger because of the lifestyle that I live, period. You know what I'm saying? There are times I go through so much shit that all I want to do is fucking sniff my fucking brains out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that hard. It's just that difficult. When people are threatening you, when people harass you, when people constantly fucking judge you, when you have to take all that shit in, there are times that I want to get a fucking gun and start fucking murdering motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? There are times that shit gets really fucking heavy. You know what I'm saying? And it's unbearable. And I'm getting old. There's just enough I can take. Now it's either I imprison myself and go to jail and lose everything that I worked hard for, or I have to sit out here and deal with certain shit. Now I'm not a good alcoholic because I'm not a good drinker. So the alcohol gets me fucked up and it messes up my stomach, so I'm not a good drinker. So the only other alternative that I have is either sniffing a really strong drug, which is either dope or cocaine or crystal meth.
Honey, I done sniffed heroin for more than 3 days straight. I done smoked crack. I done smoked fucking angel dust, cocaine. Honey, I could wake up tomorrow and continue my day and start my day without any interruptions. Mommy, I need that cash, okay? I need that money, and I need the money now, and I need it fast. So right now, I'm doing what I got to do for it, which is suck that dick, mama. Be it.
She knew her love was the sounds of her glory and the sounds of her pain, turning her elegant story into an elegant refrain. And so one night,
being transgendered affects every single aspect of your life, every inch, every ounce, every atom. I did not choose my family. They did not choose me. They're still in that mentality of if you're queer, you get AIDS. They are Pentecostal Christians. My ancestors were Mennonite. In our town, about half of the people are Mennonite. I have my great-grandmother's Mennonite cookbook. I've been playing the piano since I was 4 years old. I came out of the closet as being a gay man when I was 19. In the last 5 years, I spent 2 of those years not speaking to my parents. And that was one of the best things I've ever done for myself. 2.5 years ago, we started speaking again. It's new for society to accept us, and they don't know if we're gonna make money or lose money or what, and they want to be safe. So here I am producing my own concerts. Everything I do is self-produced. I'd say everyone that I work with right now is really amazing. They're really respectful and supportive, and they're all gender-aware people. But I have worked with people who treat me differently, first because I'm a woman, and second because I'm transgendered. They just don't take me seriously.
Where do I begin? The first time I started dressing up in public was Halloween 1993. It was the hottest night ever, and I was in a wig and heels, and I looked like a big mess. I have pictures of it and everything. So, and after that, I started dressing up almost every other day or every night. And then after that, I got into doing drag shows. And that's how I started. I guess my dad knew, and his way of like dealing with it is by beating me up. The biggest beatdown I ever got that I will never ever forget, I think I was 16. Cinderella was like, you know, one of my Disney favorites. You know, the animation, the story, the mice, the dress, the prince. I went to Blockbuster, I rented it with his card, and I forgot to return it. And he received a letter from Blockbuster saying that Cinderella was overdue and he owed like a late fee. And he was like, oh, who rented this movie? And he looked at me, I'm like, I didn't rent it. And I don't know why I said that, I should have just told the truth, but I guess at that age I was so scared of him. I was really scared of my dad. So he was like, okay, come with me. I want to take this to Blockbuster and we're going to solve this problem. So when we got home, my dad's like, go upstairs in my room, wait for me on your knees. So I went to my dad's room. He came into the room. He locked the door. And like that. Kicks. I got kicked in the stomach, punched in the face, threw on the floor, just like repeatedly. There was knocking at the door. It was my grandparents. It was my grandparents. And they were trying to get him, but there wasn't no keys because he had the key. And the only person that had a key was my mom. And she was at work. Oh God, why did I do this? She was at work.
I had a fight in the Bronx, and blood got all over it because I have the cut in my forehead from that fight. I told you that dude that I was dating, after all the drama between him and I, his friends robbed me. They came with guns. They came out to hurt me. And my whole apartment was destroyed. They broke everything. They broke the door. I needed to move out. I ended up losing everything, which was my apartment. I lost my dog. You know, I lost, you know, most of my belongings. You know, I just, everything pretty much was left behind, you know, and it was hard because, you know, to be like this in this lifestyle, you know, I learned that, you know, nobody's really your friends. In the hood, darling, they don't help you as a transgender. Even if I talk to somebody, even if that doesn't fucking do anything. Why am I struggling? Why am I going through all this hardcore fucking pain? I don't have no more life. Like, I'm just cold. I'm like bitter. Like, I have no more feelings. I'm like a fucking robot. You know what I'm saying? A machine. Wake up, make up, clients. Every day I be wanting to just stick a gun to my fucking mouth and just shoot.
I can tell you that I don't remember how I met Simone, but you know, being in the trans community, it's really small. Even though there's a lot of us, you know, it's really small, and if you know one trans girl, you basically know them all. It's like what is it, the 6 degrees separation? Most of the time it's not even 6 degrees. Simone is doing lingerie for transgender women, and she's trying to make underwear, a gaff that's built into really fancy underwear like La Perla. They're trying to brand themselves to the La Perla level, but for trans women. A lot of trans girls wear gaffs just to, it's like a underwear or device underwear that pulls your penis back and makes it and gives it an illusion of a flat vagina.
I'm looking for some trims and some elastic that we could use to make the T-string. Two years of this in black. Can I get 2 years of this as well? Initially, I wanted to be an architect. I was really fascinated by buildings. I pretty much said, screw it. I'll build a dress. One of my fondest memory of my grandmother, and she had one of those like old Singer sewing machine. I remember like being between her legs and grabbing her legs so that when she pedaled, I rocked back and forth. That was like my first memory of sewing. I had a really wonderful relationship with my grandmother. She'd always like supported my fashion habits. I often think about that now, like what she would think, like where I am and what I'm doing. And she passed away right before I started fashion school. She passed away, I think, in '93. You know, I often wonder about it, like what Karma might think of me now. So I'm sure she'd be very proud.
I found out that Simone is actually gonna work on the T-string, and I'm gonna go check it out and see what happens. You put your dick in there.
You put it in there, so when you put the panty, you pull it up and you go like this.
Wait, let me just try this. Wouldn't that hurt? Hi, I'm so glad I got the surgery.
What I'm doing about Chrysalis and just being out there, I think I'm gonna start dating and going on those like transgendered specific site.
When I used to date, my way of telling guys, because I'm not gonna tell them like right away.
Yeah.
I'll tell them on the date. So on the date, I'll be like, oh, I'm not feeling well. The guy will be like, oh, really? Why aren't you feeling well? Oh, you know, because I just took a hormone shot. They're like, a hormone shot? I was like, yeah, you know, whenever I take a hormone shot, like, you know, I get kind of nauseous. They're like, hormone shot? What do you mean hormone? I was like, estrogen. They're like, well, why do you need estrogen? I was like, I think you know why. They're like, oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty clever, actually.
It worked for me. Next thing you know, honey, we're in the apartment together, and it's like, bim, bam, boom, done.
Daniel Radcliffe is a friend of mine and a fan of my work. We met at a Welcome to New York party for his Equus run. He's just been very supportive of my work, and so we had dinner and I twittered about it. I was twittering about all of the many great things I was doing in London, and that was the only one that got picked up by the press.
I've been getting hate mail from certain people who think I'm a witch who's corrupting Harry Potter. You are horrible. Do you forget that you are a man? I never seen it before. Disgusting. You have terrible voice and you think that you are beautiful? I'm a man like you and I say that you are a ugly man. Die, homosexual married. Disgusting faggot people.
A lot of tabloids called me a drag queen. Well, the first tabloid that hit it was The Sun. It was controversial for an actor such as himself to be friends with a woman such as myself. They called me a Dolly Parton impersonator.
The first thing she said to me, she threw her arms open and she just goes, I just love listening to you sing. And that made me almost burst into tears. Because the other voice that was there is my mother saying, don't sing like a girl. You sound like a girl when you sing.
It was a world where you either move fast and be slick or just be swallowed up.
I spent 4 years in prison. So I worked in the classroom a lot with the men, and my transition started in there. I was really focused and trying to get my life together. So I would read a lot, and I would always, facilitate groups and stuff. I was in a pretty different situation than a lot of other trans people that go in there. I went to church a lot in prison. Someone told me one day that God would take all my distasteful things, right? And they asked me, do you like eating flour? And I'm like, no. Do you like eating raw eggs? And I'm like, no. They're like, do you like eating baking soda? And I'm like, no. They say, well, those are all the distasteful things in your life, and God will one day mix all them things up and make a cake. He'll make something sweet. And I feel that the Lord has brought me to a place where He's took all of the distasteful things and has cultivated a person He can use. If I would have a conversation with God and His response to me being transgender would say, I made you and I love you. I think you're special. I think I kept myself alive emotionally and spiritually that way. So when I got out, I was really happy to get out, and but I had a plan. Today I'm in college, and I work with homeless men, and I also facilitate relapse prevention for drugs and alcohol, people who are dependent.
I tried to have the counseling session with Stacy.
It's an honor, definitely is, and I'm going to learn as much as I can and just absorb it all and just be the best I can be over there.
How you doing? My nose is feeling kind of better now. I don't want people to look at me like I'm a drug addict. People do drugs every day. They were saying in the news like 90% of the money that's circulating now to Washington has cocaine residue all over it. Of course, I'm not stupid, but why would I go to rehab? I don't need rehabilitation because I'm not a drug addict.
So next time you do drugs, just think about there's a place for that.
It has something to do with it. People do drugs every day. I need to fucking get my shit together and go suck a dick in one of these offices to get me a motherfucking job. It's either I'm gonna do it or I'm not. Either I'm gonna be a failure or I'm gonna make something of myself. It works only two ways. I'm sure there's plenty of other trannies that are probably going through similar, if not worse situations. They just haven't admitted it to themselves or admitted it to other people. Just gotta be around the right people, the energy, just gotta get it together. I see it. You know what I'm saying? I wanna hang out with you tonight. This is my white husband. You go on. He has a car y todo, and he lives in the Jersey Shore. So I feel good. I can go out there and make something, you know what I'm saying, and do something myself. So before it gets too late, I need to make some kind of move now before it gets worse, before something really bad actually happens. You know what I'm saying? I've seen plenty of transgendered women that actually work real jobs. I've seen plenty of them doing a lot of work. Mind you, a lot of old vieja ones. That's the gagger. The ones that transgendered late in the process that are working normal jobs, throwing it like cunt down. I haven't seen one on 72nd Street. The other day when I was going to pick up my hormones, 6 foot tall, blonde, white man, long, you could tell she's a tranny, but she's in transition. But she's still living the life, normal person with the briefcase, looking cut in the face, going to work like cunt. There's more options out there than it is in escorting.
Sometimes people just have to lose their lives, and in the process, I would continue to be a friend and to try to follow up. That she's gonna have to go through her life experiences, and sometimes people learn the hard way. I would definitely stay in touch and see if I can come up with some resources. She appears to be very bright, very bright person, but needs to redirect herself. I just want to thank you, Lord, for keeping me in the eye of the storm where it's peaceful and still, Lord, no matter what's going on around me, Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you for your power and might, Lord Jesus Christ, and thank you for your face. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
It did not work out between Stacy and I with the counseling session only because I just feel like another transgender, especially a transgender who, kind of got her little stuff together and got a little, degree or whatever she got in counseling. I just feel like, just her experience was, you know, whatever, tragic, and she turned it around and did whatever she did. But I don't feel like I can compare my experience to Stacey because I'm not Stacey and Stacey's not me. So I don't expect the same advice that she got from herself. If I wanted to go back to school and get a job, honey, I could just go and do that.
My mother is basically dying, you know? So my uncle said, do you want to go to Philippines? And do you want to see her and say goodbye? And I'm just like, I was kind of iffy about it. Then I thought it over. I was just like, I have to, because I'm gonna really hate myself if I don't say goodbye. She had no teeth. She was skin and bone. She smelled like urine. Her head was shaved. It was really awful seeing her like that. So I could tell she was in so much pain. So I was just like, just go. And in the end, she passed away. And I wasn't sad at all. I was actually very relieved and very happy because, you know, her whole life was just miserable. All my characteristics as a person, from being creative, always being positive, I always attribute them to her. So a lot of who I am, I know for a fact is from my mother. So I feel closer to my mother now than I've ever been my whole life. Like, I know for a fact that she would not want me to be unhappy. So that's when I decided, I was just like, I'm gonna transition because I can't be unhappy anymore.
The HIV, the HIV, the high five, the AIDS virus. I tested positive 5 years ago this fall. I'm like the poster child for abstinence-only education. I got HIV by not protecting myself. My life was a complete mess. I was living in an abandoned building, drinking too much, drugging, wasn't sure where I wanted to go in my career. Had a boyfriend who turned out to be a jerk. The next day he decided that it was too much to watch me die, so he said goodbye. I was told to not use condoms because they don't work. Don't have sex till you get married. Some days I want to blame my parents, my church, my school. I had to open up my eyes or I was gonna die. I didn't cry for years until I found out I had HIV. And then I could not stop crying. All this stuff that I had stuffed down, all these feelings, these thoughts, they all came bubbling up. I decided to tell my parents because I realized if I keep it inside, it's not going to help those around me. I think they saw that they could lose their child and they decided that they wanted their child. They said that they had been worried about it, that they weren't actually surprised. At the end of the day, we all have to be responsible for our actions, and I do take responsibility for it.
I have a girlfriend right now. She has HIV. Honey, she gets getting hurt. She's escorting on the side, making money. She has her apartment that they paid for. Okay, 2 huge bedroom apartment in the Bronx. Okay, she fucking makes her money. They pay for her medications. And she's living good. I, who don't have diseases, who work hard, put myself at risk to catch AIDS, is struggling. Like, I don't understand that part. My color, my race, I feel like it's like a curse. We don't have the straight hair, the European look, that we don't fit in. I'm happy to have my ghetto ass hair because I can do stuff with it. I walk down the street and I walk around and my hair could be a little dry and people would look at me like I'm dirty or something. So what do I do to still be respected as a person? You know, if I fucking got sick, then it probably would be a favor for me because I don't have to really worry about nothing because I already know that it's all over. Stacey kind of wanted to help me out, but I just don't think she understood the type of situation I was in. Now I'm living a different lifestyle. You know, I love music and I have the talent to sing, and I know, you know, this is something that I love performing. I love stage. I love being in the light. Look at my image now.
Paul
the owner of Jordan Magazine wanted to do a feature on me. And so he's like, why not do a shoot? So I did a shoot. I mean, what else I can say?
Do you like the way it came out?
Yeah, I do. But I think I was more excited to be shot by Patrick de Marchelier than anything. I love fashion, and you know, I grew up looking at fashion magazines. Go, Misha, go, 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 go. Go, Misha, go. Oh my God, I see it. And admiring, you know, all these photographers, and Patrick de Marchelier being, you know, one of my favorites. He's not my favorite, but he's one, you know, he's up there. I've done makeup, I've done illustration, I've done computer graphics, I've done retouching, but what I love best that I found out like recently is that I love photography. I really want to develop my photography portfolio. Josephine is kind of like my stepdaughter. She is my boyfriend's daughter. I've known her ever since she was born, and our relationship is kind of cool. We're like sisters. Being a photographer was always intriguing to me because to me it was all part of like, you know, creating a picture. As in, you know, me doing illustrations, I was creating a picture. As in me doing makeup, to me that's like creating a picture. And so photographer comes naturally to me. I've been taking pictures ever since high school. To me that was always like, you know, extremely fun and extremely gratifying to, you know, to see all the images I, you know, conjured up. And I was like, wow, I think I could really do this. Just like Photoshop, it's intimidating at first, but once you get to play with it, it's, you know, easy as pie.
Hello? Hi, Nina. It's Simone.
What's the tea, girl?
I have you on the speakerphone with Sai and Judy. So we're working on this project, lingerie for our tea girls. You started doing photography, and we were wondering whether or not you would be interested in doing, you know, still shots to do the commercial for our website.
So you want still shots of you guys shooting the commercial?
Yeah, but I also do want to talk to you about campaign ads, like the still shots after that.
Okay, gorgeous.
So we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Do you guys have someone in mind?
Well, we obviously want someone who's sexy, attractive, kind of has like a sensuality about her. It's more about an emotion and a feeling that she has to portray.
Right.
A little bit of edginess, what every woman would even consider herself to be. Because everyone wants to be sexy and want to feel like they're desired.
And most of all, she has to be transgendered.
Yeah, and she has to be a T-girl.
I'm excited.
I am too. I think it's going to be a really fun, beautiful project.
I do too.
All the girls in the Chrysalis ad and photo shoot are transgendered. One of them is just drop dead gorgeous. Her body, I mean, you look at her and she's just the epitome of womanhood. We're really happy with all the models that we have. They all bring sort of like this different characters or just persona, just, you know, just like inherently every woman, they're all so different. Being a transgendered woman, I really want to give back to the community. And how do I do that? By helping younger transgendered women who are just starting out in the whole process. Because I remember when I was transitioning and looking for ways that make my life easier, and I figured this would be my way of giving back to the community. We want to give these women the support, so to speak, you know, in lingerie to help them kind of be more womanly and be able to like transition so that they don't have to think about it and they could just think about, you know, doing other things that they want to do in life, like their careers, you know, getting an education and being successful. You know, they shouldn't have to think about anything else but bettering themselves.
My therapist suggested that I should tell my brothers that I'm getting my breast augmentation done. I said the only reason I didn't tell them is because boys are weird about boobs. And I told them, they were fine. My older brother is a microbiologist. I was like, okay. My two younger brothers, one is in the Army, and the youngest is in the Air Force. I was like, whoa, how big are you gonna be? I said, D. And he's like, oh, cool. I'm not at peace with my breasts, because I can change them. I'm not at peace with many things about my body, because it's changing, and I'm becoming more and more at peace. But my voice is one thing I can't change, and it's probably the most masculine thing about me. I'm doing a benefit tonight called Boob Aid. All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Tits. It's a concert that I'm putting together with my friends. It's a benefit for my boob job.
In the ashes that I find where I am growing, find where I am going. You're on your parts, then Rob's back. Find where I am going. Let's try that fine.
Get this tranny her tits, I believe is the quote from Kesha. Rosie O'Donnell donated a painting that she and Tyra Banks did. Tori Amos donated something as well, saying, let's help Our Lady J out.
I met Nina while I was working for a real estate agency in Manhattan. And back then I was just beginning to transition.
I heard that Tiffany did a song. She did like a house song. She's been wanting to do this for a long time, and from what I see, she's very, very ambitious about it, and she's, you know, her heart is into this. I've seen Tiffany in many phases of her life. One of the moments that I witnessed with her was she was like almost on the brink of like death. I mean, death for her being a girl, because she wasn't taking any hormones. She got kicked out of her apartment. She broke up with her boyfriend. She was doing a lot of drugs. And now, slowly, you know, gradually, you know, Tiffany, she's a fighter. She's a survivor. And even at her lowest of the low, I know she's gonna dust herself off and just get her life back together. Sing what you know.
Yeah. I'm going out tonight.
I'm going out tonight. I knew you way back. How old were you when I met you?
17.
Oh my god. And then I seen you progress. And I seen you get messy. I seen you on like your lowest. And now I think like this is the best I've seen you, because this is like I see that you're maturing, you're growing up, you're more sure of yourself. You know who you are, and you know what you want, and you're out there to get it. And nothing's gonna stop you, and you should know that.
Exactly.
Sha, 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 sha.
I'm performing tonight and tomorrow night. I'll see ya. Bye. Thank you. For a while, I used to complain because people would treat me like a hooker on the street. And then I caught my reflection one day, and I understood.
My name is World Famous Bob, and I'm here because I think Lady J is a beautiful example of how to live.
I'm here tonight as a firm believer in transformation, and I am happy to be part of the process of Jonna's amazing journey.
I'm here to support her and to get her some nice, great, big, beautiful tits.
Boob Aid was a huge success. A lot of people turned out. Both shows were packed. And the online auctions went well. There's still a couple items up there. One by RuPaul, actually. RuPaul signed a doll of his. And Alan Cumming sent some signed posters and some wonderful fragrances. And who else? A few people. There's a few things online still. I'm really excited. I made enough to get my boobs done in San Francisco which is great. I was hoping for New York, but it's all right. I was looking at Thailand as well, because I could get my boobs and my nose and a couple other things done in Thailand. But they actually wouldn't take me because I'm HIV positive. So, I don't know if that's everybody, but that's where I was looking. And it's just better to stay here. I have a friend in San Francisco who's going to take care of me.
I'm going out tonight.
Once I find the right tonight, that's the one that's going in there. My name is Willie Dutch. I'm a DJ and remixer. I met Tiffany through a mutual friend. That friend told me that Tiffany had a great idea for a song, so I decided to meet with Tiffany and listen to her idea. Once I heard it, I believed it could be a great house song for clubs. I think Tiffany has great drive and could be successful if she stays on the right path.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Yeah. Go for it.
Let's get dirty, baby.
You ready? All right.
I'm going out tonight. I'm getting drunk. The party's getting wild. I'm feeling cunt. I see some sexy guys. I'm going out tonight.
All right, what would you say?
Like I'm going too low. I should be going a little bit higher. Let's get dirty. Or let's get dirty. What do you think? I'm feeling sexy. I'm looking hot. The music's pumping loud. I'm feeling nice. Let's get dirty. She don't want to because I know I can't see it.
Nah, no worries, no worries, no worries. It's the magic of music making.
I'm going out tonight. Hey, I'm feeling crazy. I'm getting loose. He dances on me. No chance to lose. I'm going out tonight. Oh, hey, I'm going out tonight. Hey, I'm getting drunk. Yeah, the party's getting wild. I'm deep now. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling crazy. I'm getting loose. He dances on me. No chance to lose. Baby, I'm ready. Baby, I'm free. I'm feeling horny. Let's get dirty. Hey.
All right. Oh, God. I'm getting motherfucking soul calling. Okay.
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm happy I got a chance to put my little stuff in there because that's what I really wanted to do because I had the idea in my head at home because I was doing the whole
My LA apartment is like 10 times as big as my New York apartment. I moved here by chance. I was going on a tour, and part of my tour I spent a month here, and I really loved it. So I just started having my friends ship things back for me, and by the time I finished the tour, I moved to LA. I'm gonna give a mini little piano lesson to the kids of someone who's in the choir. Below is that way, right?
That way.
Wait, let's try this one. So this is our right hand, and we're on the black keys for this one, the 3 black keys. Very good. And we start with 4, 4, 3, 3, 2. Good. Let's count it while I play my part. 1, 2, here we go.
Welcome to the stage, Our Lady J and the Train to Kill Gospel Choir.
just got off my European tour of Gospel for the Godless, and I actually moved to Los Angeles from New York just a few months ago. I love it here, let me tell you. Everyone in Los Angeles looks like a post-op transsexual. It's true. On my journey towards womanhood, I decided that I did not want to be a woman. I wanted to be an android, and becoming a woman was just part of the whole deal. So I'm going to sing a song for you that demonstrates my post-transsexual, pre-android gospel choir sound.
I'm applying for a job right now, you know, at one of these bars that are looking for drag performers. And I figured since I'm already doing my song, this could be an opportunity to actually pick up another skill by doing, you know, drag shows.
Tell me your name.
Tiffany. Matthew.
Why are you auditioning for this job, Lucky Charm?
I'm auditioning for this job because I've always been into entertaining. I love being out at night. I love people getting wild. Entails like 3 nights a week. You know, I travel to Atlantic City, and it's with tips, and you know, even though it's not much, but it's something. You know what I'm saying? It's better than doing nothing.
A lot of our fans are really excited, and they can't wait to see the product. So this is a box of the finished product that just came in from Hong Kong. The T-string, you really get that that security that you're held in. So these are all the functions that we've been working on. We said that we want to work on the function first, and then we're gonna worry about making it pretty. This is the bra. We took your basic bra. What we did is we put, just like you would put in a swimsuit, that you would put an insert. So there's a pocket. What happens is you put the insert in them. There you have it.
Chrysalis lingerie made for you, by you.
We did a preview on the website of our ad.
Just an introduction to Chrysalis as a brand and to kind of what we represent, basically the acknowledgement of our existence and that we have a specific need. On our Facebook fan page, in the settings section, they can actually show you the demographics, like the age group, and 30% of the people who like our page are high school students, you know, from the age of, I don't know, what is that, 15 to 18, I guess. And, you know, I'm looking through their pages via the Chrysalis page, and I see them just being transgender teenagers, you know, being cheerleaders, you know, just hanging out and having fun with their friends, being totally accepted for who they are, and I thought that was great. And I know that if I was that age and I were to see transgender women being represented like that, that would have really, I don't know, just changed my whole outlook on life in general. You know? So
I think it would have made our lives so much easier.
Yeah.
Like not having to feel like we're doing something that was so taboo and so wrong, and like I think for me, that's part of the reason why I wanted to start this company, is to give, I think both Sai and I feel that way, that we wanted to change how these kids feel about being transgendered. We want them to be proud of being transgendered, and I think somewhere down the line I hope that I could, that would rub off on me as well. It's like, it still is a little bit hard, like admitting that you're transgendered and being proud of being transgendered. I think it still is. There's still a lot of stigma, and I think if we could start them young, I think that would be great.
So I did the shoot with Josephine, who's Robert's daughter, and it came out exactly like how I wanted it. After the Josephine shoot, I was craving to do another shoot. I've done illustration, I've done makeup, I've done modeling, but what I've decided that what I really love to do is photography. And I'm really excited because tomorrow I have an interview with an editor of a fashion magazine.
We should talk about those pictures that you have taken. If I had to choose, I like the first one.
The duplicity, yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about, obviously, I asked you to do the makeup for a shoot. Since the magazine is sort of like expanding the website and we're trying to grow, I'm trying to bring people on. I thought you would be a great person to be like a fashion editor.
I would love to.
If it's something that
I would love to be fashion editor and photographer. I would love that.
I go back to New York every 6 weeks, so I still see my friends for dinner. I give them shit, you know. There's competition between New York and LA. In New York, martyrdom in the arts is put on a platform. There's a lot of respect for the craft and the business here to be a thriving musician rather than a starving artist. I did that. I'm not a starving artist anymore, and I'm perfectly happy with making money, making music.